It was late summer in 2005 when Hurricane Katrina approached the Gulf Coast, a storm that the world would later remember as one of the most devastating natural disasters in American history. But Katrina was more than wind and rain. It was a challenge to the strength of communities, the resilience of individuals, and the spirit of humanity itself. What people lost in that storm was real and painful, but what they found in its aftermath changed the way we understand courage and collective action. When Hurricane Katrina made landfall on August 29, 2005, its force was immense. With category-level strength winds, violent storm surge, and catastrophic flooding, it overwhelmed the Gulf Coast. The city of New Orleans, protected by levees that were never designed to withstand such extreme pressure, saw its defenses collapse and waters rush in, flooding nearly 80% of the city's neighborhoods. Entire blocks disappeared underwater. Homes, schools, and hospitals were submerged, and thousands of lives were forever altered. In that moment, what Hurricane Katrina destroyed was visible: the buildings, the infrastructure, the familiar landmarks. But what hurt even deeper was the loss of security, hope, and normal life for countless families. Thousands of people were displaced. Many lost friends, relatives, and loved ones. Businesses vanished. Dreams that had been built over decades were washed away. The physical and emotional wounds were not just immediate. They lasted for years, and in some ways continue to this day. Yet even amidst the wreckage and chaos, something remarkable began to unfold, something that defied the idea that tragedy only brings despair. What rose from the storm was an example of humanity at its strongest, of people choosing hope over hopelessness, compassion over indifference, and unity over division. Immediately after the storm hit, many Americans, strangers to the people of New Orleans, did something extraordinary. They packed food, water, medical supplies, and essential resources, and traveled from across the country to help complete strangers who were in desperate need. Civic organizations, faith-based groups, community leaders, and everyday citizens came together with one purpose: to help others survive and rebuild. The spirit of volunteerism surged, turning devastation into a nationwide response of care and solidarity. What Hurricane Katrina revealed, in the rubble, in the evacuee centers, and in the long lines for aid, was that true resilience does not come from being untouched by disaster, but from standing up stronger after the hardest hits in life. When homes were lost, neighbors became family. When voices were weak from grief, communities raised them up. When hope seemed distant, acts of kindness became guiding lights. People opened their homes to evacuees. Churches worked together across racial and economic lines to create unified support networks. This cooperation extended beyond temporary shelter. It helped build a renewed sense of community. One powerful example came from the alliance of two local churches, a predominantly black congregation and a primarily white congregation, who chose to worship, work, and help side by side in the aftermath, bridging social divides through service and mutual respect. But resilience is not only about immediate response, it is about transformation. In the long period of recovery, months, years, and even decades later, the people of the Gulf Coast have continued to rebuild in ways that honor the courage of those who stood strong in the storm's wake. Neighborhoods that were once submerged now show new signs of life. Schools reopened, families returned, businesses reestablished roots. And though some neighborhoods look different than before, they represent the resilience of individuals who refuse to let Katrina defy their futures. The lesson of Hurricane Katrina reaches far beyond New Orleans or the Gulf Coast. It speaks to the capacity within all of us to endure adversity, to support one another, and to rise again. It teaches that heartbreak is not the end unless you allow it to be, that strength is built not when life is easy, but we persevere through hardship. Resilience is not a moment, it is a continuous journey. It is the commitment to rebuild not just structures, but relationships. It is the power to transform loss into motivation, a reminder that even after the fiercest storm, the human spirit can rebuild a stronger tomorrow. This is the greatest legacy of Hurricane Katrina, that when individuals choose empathy, cooperation, and courage, even the darkest days can become a foundation for hope and renewal.